Welcome, everybody, to my first episode of Dark Knowledge of History. Let's begin with the opening theme song. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, when you come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. Okay, everybody. Let's see. Today, I'm going to talk about fairy tales, okay? This one's a dark one, okay? Does anyone remember the story of Little Red Riding Hood, okay? Well, Little Red Riding Hood, right? She's going to go to grandmother's house with a picnic basket, right? And all that good stuff. Well, I'm going to tell you the symbolism of that story using history. Okay. Does anyone remember Russia? Okay. The good old communist Russian country where they sing Katusha, Rasvetali. Anyway, when Russia became communist, they got rid of all the churches. They went in the Greek Orthodox Church. They'd shoot the priest in the head and the flock would scatter. That's the congregation, that is, okay? And what happened was, in history, sexual immorality, when the church fell, it just skyrocketed up to the roof. And what happened was, they were about to get into a war, and they wanted to control the morality of the people. They didn't want, the morals, the moral values of the people. And so what happened was they brought back the church, but they feared that the church would have an uprising and gain too much control and overthrow the party. So what they did was they put members of the Communist Party in the churches to be the clergy, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you in this story that the big bad wolf was the priest, okay? Now, people might say, well, how do you know that it's not a nun that she spoke to, okay? Well, because it is a grandma, right? Well, technically, the story is symbolic. Grandmother's house, going to a church, well, we all know that a church is symbolic of what? The bride of Christ, right? Technically, what she is doing is she is visiting the faith of her grandma, okay? And the reason why we know it's not a nun, although they did have nuns who were communist members, they infiltrated the church. And technically, you didn't see them around because those fake priests had sex with those nuns. That's why today, if you look in some websites, you'll see that shameful place where you see all the aborted babies or murdered babies. Yes, the Communist Party murdered those children born out of wedlock with those priests, because now you see how wicked the Communist Party was. So anyway, what happened was the little girl walks into the assembly, right? And she sees the priest, okay? And she says, "My, what big ears you have. Better to hear you with," real sharp ears, because they're listening for anything that might sound like insurrection or something like that. So anyway, technically, what Little Red Riding Hood was doing by saying, what big ears you have, what big eyes you have, better to see you with, says the wolf. And then, what big fangs you have, better to gobble you up. But then again, here's the thing though, is some stories say that she was swallowed whole, right? Well, technically, wolves do not swallow things whole, but serpents do. Well, anyway, as you know, there's that good old hunter, okay? Now, not the hunter, but he's a woodsman. You know, he's a lumberjack, okay? Well, anyway, you ever heard of woodwork? Okay? Must be in the woodwork. You never heard that phrase? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Well, anyway, he heard what was going on, and really what happened was Little Red Riding Hood was violated. She was raped, okay? And technically, what this is symbolic of was symbolic of Dinah, the defiling of Dinah, Jacob's daughter, okay? She was taken by force, okay? That's what it meant, okay? So theoretically, the woodsman, okay, he came in, saw and heard well, actually, he didn't see what happened, but he heard what happened, and he marched right in and delivered Dinah out of them. Basically what he did was he butchered all those wolves in sheep clothing who were clergy members of the church. So now you guys know an interesting thing. But why is she called Little Red Riding Hood, okay? Is it because communism was red? No, it's because she wore a scarlet garment. What is a scarlet garment? Scarlet was worn by royalty. Basically, when it's wintertime, you stay warm, okay? But sometimes when you wear a richly garment or you have a richly understanding, you like to tease nasty people who are really, really naughty and bad. So you go over there, you goad them on, you know, you might throw some rocks at them, you know, figure of speech, by the way, and you make them upset. And, well, she got in danger that way. So literally, that is what happened. The darkness of what goes behind the walls in communism. So if anyone says that communism is great, see how wicked they truly are. Well, have a great day.
People astray when you're